hope you're all okay. This is going to be your last online literacy lesson for the week. And again, what you're going to need is a book, paper, and a pencil. And today I've actually got Marshall here to help us with this lesson. So if you see his head pop up, I do apologise, he's just having a little nap. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, like all of the other lessons, I'd like you to write the date and title at the top of your page. And make sure if you've got a ruler that you do underline them. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at open and closed questions, and we're actually going to be asking and answering some questions for the characters Anne and Carl Denham. Okay, let's get started. So let's start with a closed question. So a closed question is one that can be answered with a single word or a short phrase. It may be answered with yes or a no. It normally only has a few details in the answer, so it's really short. It can often be answered with a single word. It doesn't give you a lot of information, and you don't need a lot of thought to actually answer the question. Generally, it only gives one answer, so you're just asking a question like, how old are you? It's a very short one answer. You're not going into much detail. Okay, so how do you ask a closed question then? To ask a closed question, normally you would start the question with who, what, where, when, or how many. So for example, let's have a look at this picture of the girl here. Some closed questions that you could ask this girl is, who is the girl in the photo? You give a very simple answer of she's a traveller, or she's on holiday, she's a tourist. Another short question you can ask is, what is she doing? You'd give another simple answer, walking down a city street. And then another easy answer, where is she walking to? Probably the bridge in the distance. So you can really tell there that closed questions they're trying to give you very simple answers that don't require much thought. So what I'd like you to do for your first task today is I'd like you to think of some closed questions that you could ask Anne and Carl Denham. I'd like you to think of 2 questions that you could ask each of the characters. So for example, Anne, you may ask simply, how old are you? So what I'd like you to do is you'd write Anne at the top of your page. Underneath it, write your question, then I'd like you to answer it. So obviously you're not actually Anne, and you might not know the information, the facts of the information, but you can make it up. So I might say, Anne, how old are you? I am, let's make up an age, 26 years old. So I want you to do 2 questions for each character. Ask them a very closed question, so you can use the sentence starters here, or you can use how, that'd be another one, and then answer them below. So make sure that you're writing these down so that you can send me a picture of them. Okay, well done. I hope you've all done that. What we're going to move on to now is open questions. So open questions can be answered with a lot of detail. An open question has a detailed answer. It cannot be answered with a simple yes or no. It often contains your opinion, so you might answer it with, I think that. It often gives you a lot of information, so you can say because, and you'd give more reasoning. It may contain interesting ideas. Sometimes it can lead to other questions as well, so you can develop the answer even further. And you can actually have more than one answer. So let's have a look at some examples of open questions then. So to ask an open question, you could start your question with, why do you think? How did? Why did? How would you feel if? What could happen if? And I wonder why. So there are some ways that you can start your open questions, and as you can see, if you're starting a question like that, you're going to get a lot more of a detailed answer, and you're going to get a lot more information out of your characters or the person you're asking a question to. So let's have a look at some examples of questions then that we could ask the girl in the photo. So what you could say is, how would you feel if you were traveling with the girl in the picture? For this question, you wouldn't just say happy. You'd give an explanation. You'd say, I would feel happy because they are exploring and taking adventures around the world. And you can give some reasoning behind that. You can say because and give your opinion. Another question you could ask is, I wonder why the street has no people on it. Your answer again then would be more detailed. It'd give you a lot more information. It might be an interesting answer. You could say, I think that the street has no people on it because they are doing a photo shoot. Or I think that the street has no people on it because it is early in the morning. And then another example of question is, why do you think the girl is on her own? You could answer that question with, I think the girl is on her own because she is traveling on her own, or because I don't think she is on her own because there's somebody taking the picture. So as you can see, each of these questions make you really think about the answer. You can't just give a very simple answer, you have to give thought to it. Often the answers contain your opinion, and there's a possibility of more than one answer, so it's not just a yes or no. When you're giving your opinion, you can have any opinion. And because of this, it actually makes you get an understanding and think about what's actually happened before the picture was taken, or think about what's happening around the picture. Okay, so like before, what I'd like you to do now is think of some questions that you could ask the characters Anne and Carl in the King Kong book. So you can use the question starters here. So you've got, why do you think, how did, why did, how would you feel if, what could happen if, and I wonder why. So again, just like in the last task, what I'd like you to do is write the character's name first. So we'll start with Anne, and then underneath you can write your question. So let's think of an example. I wonder why you agreed to go along with Carl's dangerous picture. That could be one of your questions. What you then need to do is, like we did before, is you then need to answer the question. So one of your answers for this question could be, I agreed to go, just put the dog down. I agreed to go on the dangerous adventure and take the picture with King Kong because I felt like I owed Carl Denham a favour as he saved me from when I stole the apple. So again, you're giving a lot more of a detailed answer, and you're going into the reasoning, and you're giving a why. So I'd like you to think of 2 questions for each of the characters. So 2 questions for Anne, 2 questions for Carl, and answer them, and make sure that you're writing this all down. Okay, well done everybody. You've done really well today. And these questions, they're actually going to be really useful for you when you're writing up your newspaper article next week, as you can use the answers to put in quotes from the characters in your newspaper article. So really good work, and I really look forward to seeing it. So don't forget to take a picture of your work and email it into the class email. So either Year 5 Hazel at australiabyronwood.org or Year 5 Sycamore at australiabyronwood.org. Okay. Thank you everybody. Goodbye.